If your knees and hips feel like rusty door hinges every morning when you try to get out of bed, take a second and listen to this. Recent studies show that a simple morning tea ritual, made with things you probably have sitting in your kitchen right now, can noticeably soothe that morning stiffness and powerfully support your natural mobility. By the end of this video, you are going to get the exact recipe, the number one preparation mistake most people make, and a day-by-day timeline of how your body will respond. We are saving the absolute number one ingredient for the very end. A surprising, time-tested kitchen staple that provides the specific compounds your body needs to cool that inflammation. But before we get to this golden tea, we need to talk about why your joints are swelling up and locking down on you while you sleep in the first place. Think about what happens when you lay down at night. For 7 or 8 hours, you stop moving during the day. Every time you take a step, squeeze your hand, or bend your knee, your muscles act like a natural pump, pushing fluids and blood through your joints to keep them lubricated. But at night, that pump shuts off. If you already have some arthritis or everyday wear and tear, fluid starts to build up around those irritated joints. I want you to imagine a stagnant pool of water in your backyard. When water doesn't flow, it just sits there and collects junk. That is what happens inside your knees, hips, and hands overnight. To make matters worse, your body's inflammatory messengers are highly active while you rest. As you sleep, these messengers rush into the joint space because you aren't moving to pump that fluid back out. All that inflammation just sits there, pulling around your cartilage. That is precisely why you wake up with joints that feel swollen, hot, and stiff as a board. You literally have to walk it off for 20 minutes just to get that stagnant fluid moving again. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, "I've tried ginger tea before, and it didn't do a thing for my knees." I hear you. But let me stop you right there, because there are two massive mistakes almost everyone makes when they try this, and it completely ruins the benefits. Mistake number 1 is using those little pre-packaged tea bags from the grocery store. Think about it. By the time that box makes it into your pantry, that dried ginger and turmeric has been sitting in a factory, then on a truck, and then on a warehouse shelf for months. All of those active, beneficial compounds evaporated a long time ago. Trying to get real joint-soothing support from a dusty tea bag is like taking a daily vitamin that expired 3 years ago. You are just drinking warm, flavored water. Mistake number 2 is something I used to do all the time. Maybe you buy the fresh ginger, cut off a few slices, drop it in a mug of hot water, and let it sit for a couple of minutes. It smells great. But here is the physical reality. Just pouring hot water from your kettle over a piece of raw ginger does not work. Regular hot water is not strong enough to actually break down the tough, fibrous cell walls of the root, all the good stuff. the compounds that actually powerfully soothe that joint stiffness and help manage everyday swelling. Stay locked safely inside the plant. To physically pull those joint-soothing compounds out of the root and into your cup, you need a very specific temperature and the right amount of time. And that is exactly where our golden ingredients come in. To actually get that stagnant pool of fluid moving out of your joints, we need to turn on your body's internal heating system. That is exactly what our first ingredient does: fresh ginger root. Ginger contains an active compound called gingerol. When you prepare it the right way, ginger acts as a gentle vasodilator. In plain English, that simply means it relaxes and opens up your blood vessels. It gets fresh, warm blood pumping down into your knees, hips, and hands. That increased circulation gently encourages your body to clear away and ease that stagnant fluid that built up while you were sleeping. It is like finally unclogging a slow drain. But draining the fluid is only step one. We still have to powerfully support and protect the joint capsule. For that, we add our second ingredient: fresh turmeric root. You have probably heard a lot of talk about turmeric lately, but the science behind how it works is what really matters. Turmeric contains a specific compound called curcumin. Since we are dealing with joints that feel like rusty door hinges, I want you to think of curcumin as a heavy-duty biological helper. While the ginger is busy unclogging the drain and moving the fluid, the curcumin rushes in to help cool down that inflammation and comfort joints that feel hot, red, and swollen. But here is the catch, and this is where almost everyone gets it wrong. You could eat turmeric every single day and never feel a bit of difference in your joints. Why? Because your body is incredibly bad at absorbing it. Your liver treats curcumin like a foreign substance and flushes it right out of your system before it ever has a chance to reach your knees. That brings us to our third and absolute most important ingredient: ordinary black pepper. Black pepper contains a natural compound called piperine. When you consume piperine alongside turmeric, it temporarily pauses that filtering process in your liver. Clinical studies show that adding just a tiny pinch of black pepper boosts your body's ability to absorb curcumin by a staggering 2,000%. Let me say that again, 2,000%. Without the black pepper, the turmeric is basically useless. It just passes right through you. But when you add it in, you unlock the doors to your cells, delivering that natural, joint-supporting power directly into the joints that need it most. All right, let's get into the kitchen. Here is the exact recipe and a step-by-step way to make this golden tea, so you actually get the benefits without ruining those active compounds. You are going to need 2 cups of fresh filtered water. Next, take your fresh ginger root and cut off a 1-inch piece. Do not worry about peeling it. Just slice it up thin. Then, do the exact same thing with your fresh turmeric root. Slice up a 1-inch piece of that as well. Put your water, the ginger slices, and the turmeric slices into a small pot on the stove. Turn the heat up, just until the water starts to gently bubble. And then immediately turn it down to low. You want this to simmer, not boil violently. Let it simmer gently for exactly 10 minutes. This is the perfect amount of time and heat to break down the tough plant walls and release that joint supportive curcumin and circulatory boosting gingerol without destroying them in the process. After 10 minutes, turn the stove completely off and take the pot off the heat. Pay close attention, because this next step is where the magic actually happens. Once the water stops bubbling, stir in 1/4 teaspoon of ordinary black pepper. You must add the black pepper after you take the pot off the heat. If you boil black pepper for 10 minutes, the extreme heat breaks down the piperine, and you lose that 2,000% absorption boost. So stir the pepper in at the very end. Put a lid on the pot and let it sit for 5 minutes to steep. After 5 minutes, you can strain it into your favorite warm mug. If you need a little extra flavor, feel free to squeeze in some fresh lemon juice or a half teaspoon of raw honey. But knowing how to make it is only half the battle. When you drink it, it makes all the difference in the world. You need to drink this tea first thing in the morning, on a completely empty stomach, at least 30 minutes before you eat your breakfast. When your stomach is totally empty, it acts like a dry kitchen sponge. It will soak up every single drop of those natural, joint-nourishing compounds and send them straight into your bloodstream. If you eat a bowl of oatmeal or a plate of eggs first, your digestive system gets distracted processing the heavy food, and a massive percentage of that golden elixir simply goes to waste. Now that you know how to make this tea and exactly when to drink it, I want to set some realistic expectations. I am not going to sit here and promise you an overnight miracle. Real, lasting change takes a little bit of time. On day 1, you are probably not going to notice a massive difference in your knees or your hands. What you will notice right away is that your stomach feels calmer. Your digestion is smoother, and you will feel a nice, natural warmth spreading through your body. But day 3 is the real turning point. By the 3rd morning, that is when most people start to notice a real shift. You will find that stepping out of bed is not quite as painful. Your hips will not feel so locked up, and your fingers will be a little easier to bend. That internal stiffness is finally starting to give way to comfort. Before you start, just a quick word of common sense. If you are currently taking any prescription blood thinners, please have a quick chat with your doctor before you make ginger and turmeric a daily habit, just to be on the safe side. So, here is your action plan. Go to the grocery store today, pick up some fresh ginger and turmeric, and try this simple tea tomorrow morning. Pay attention to how your body feels, and then come back to this video on day 3 and leave a comment below. I want to hear exactly how much easier your morning was. If you found this breakdown helpful and you want more straightforward, honest ways to take care of your body as we get older, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Take care of those joints, and I will see you in the next video.